It always sucks when you hear about one of your favorite musicians dying from a drug overdose. But not if you're making a video of your top 10 favorite musicians who died from drugs.
Gator don't play no shit. You feel me?
Good evening and welcome to another edition of MSW Films, your one-stop shop for internet entertainment. Well, tonight we're going to go over my top 10 favorite musicians who died from a drug overdose. Let's just jump right into this. Jimi Hendrix, what an amazing musician. Now, Jimi died from an overdose of barbiturates and white women. Jimi was an amazing guitar player, and Jimi loved three things in life: music, drugs, and pussy. And that is why he's on my list. At number 9, we have Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison was definitely an odd person, and I liked him because he was like that. He didn't live in society and the world like everybody else. He was a very free thinker. He was also a great poet. He died from supposedly heroin, but possibly alcohol. Who the fuck knows? All I know is he's dead and stinking. But Jimi Morrison definitely left us a lot of great music, and that is why he's on my list. Sid Vicious. Come on, man. Sid Vicious was fucking whack. Sid Vicious definitely died from a heroin overdose. However, Sid Vicious was horrible bass player. Half the time, Johnny Rotten would unplug his ass when they would play live, and he was so fucked up he didn't even know that he was unplugged. What a crazy motherfucker. But once again, he didn't give a shit. And that is why he's on my list. G.G. Allin. Who doesn't like G.G. Allin? Even if you don't like G.G. Allin's music, you gotta admire the fact that he really didn't give a fuck. He lived this life in his own way. There were no rules to this man, and anybody who's even heard of him or seen his concerts, you know that this is true. So he definitely died of a heroin overdose, but G.G. Allin was one hell of a fucking character, and if you don't know of him, look him up and watch some shit on this motherfucker. He was crazy, but in a great way, because to me, when I say crazy, that means that you think for yourself, you know? So that is why he is on my list. And at number 6, we got David Brockie, also known as Odorous Orungus from the band Gwar. Who didn't like Gwar? Now, David definitely died of a heroin overdose, but Odorous Orungus, his character that he played in Gwar, and just Gwar in general, it was such a different band. I listened to them from the time I was 12, and I still listen to them today. Amazing. There is no level of what disgust and filth they wouldn't put out there, and I always admire that. People who aren't afraid and aren't a bunch of pussies and get offended and stuff like that. People that just enjoy living life, kind of like me. I like to do whatever the fuck I want, so I pretty much do. But David did that a lot too, and that is why he's on my list. Prince. Man, who didn't like Prince? This guy was cool as shit. Now, when I was growing up, because I liked Prince, people would be like, man, he's a fruit and all this stuff. Prince was not a fruit. Prince was a smooth motherfucker who got mad pussy. He's very intelligent, he's extremely educated, and he's also just a genius musician. He also wrote a lot of music for a lot of big bands. A lot of people don't know that. So Prince was definitely cool as shit. He did die from fentanyl. Whatever. Good music, and thanks for the music, Prince. And that is why he's on my list. Kurt Cobain. Now, we all know that Kurt died from heroin, and Courtney, but nonetheless, Kurt did change things in 1991 with his band Nirvana. If you didn't have Nevermind album in 1991 and were around, you were living under a fucking rock, because that thing just changed music right there. That's where the whole grunge scene was born, whether you like that or not. Kurt was a big part of that, and also he really didn't give a shit what people thought of him, and he was not really big with celebrities and Hollywood. He was really against those people, and that is why he is on my list. Layne Staley. Who didn't see his overdose on heroin coming? We saw that a mile away. In fact, when they found him, he has done been dead for 3 weeks, so he is literally dead and stinking. However, Alice in Chains was fucking an awesome band. I still love Alice in Chains, man. I still listen to them to today. And I don't think that some of these bands and some of these people who, if they didn't do these drugs, I don't know that we would have got the magic that they created. I'm not saying that you should do that stuff. Personally, I really don't give a fuck if you do or if you don't. I think to each person, it's your body, it's your decision. I don't give a shit. Your choice, and I believe in that. But man, could he sing. And Alice in Chains is still one of my favorite bands to today, and I still love him. And that is why he is on my list. Shannon Hoon. How can you not love Blind Melon, man? Shannon Hoon from Blind Melon. Now, this motherfucker died from cocaine. Must have been snorting a lot of coke, Shannon, but I guess his brain moves so quick. If you listen to Blind Melon, you listen to their lyrics, they're very deep. They're very spiritually out of mind experience lyrics of really cool, awesome shit. Blind Melon is still to today one of my favorite bands ever. I definitely will always love Blind Melon. And Shannon Hoon was an awesome front man and fucking poet and singer. So that is why he is on my list. But busting in at number 1 would have to be Bradley Nowell from Sublime. Sublime was fucking amazing, man. They were it. When I heard Sublime, I fell in love with that ska, rasta, reggae, punk music all combined into one. I was in love with it the second I heard it. So I still to today am a huge Sublime fan. Got to meet Bud from Sublime when I went to go see them. What a fantastic band, man. And Brad liked to party, man. And he knew, if you listen to his lyrics, he knew the shit was going to get him. He died of heroin. But at the same time, man, what an amazing fucking songwriter. Just had so much flavor, so much style that he has definitely got to be number 1 on my list. So, I don't know. That's my list. Don't do drugs, or do them. I really don't give a shit. I believe each person is entitled to whatever they want to put in their body, and I have no objections against it whatsoever. And that is why it is on my list. Well, that's it for my list. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below and if there's anything I missed. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to ring that bell to get new notifications of all our new videos.
Who rang that bell?
Hopefully you did. Have a great night.